StereoKit is an open source mixed reality library for C# developers. It's really good for building applications and tools. Instead of focusing on the games and interactive media use case, it focuses on applications and productivity and things like that. So it focuses very much on like how do I do these real world problems that applications need to solve, like loading files from the file system using a built-in file picker makes it really easy. And in general, it just makes the mixed reality development experience much easier. So it is basically an entire engine of its own. It's an alternative to the other tools that are out there, but it is very specifically focused on mixed reality first. So all of the defaults are set up to work really well in mixed reality. All the graphics are tuned to work really well on mobile mixed reality headsets. And it's just a really good experience for those of you who are developing applications that are specifically for mixed reality. It's also a part of the C# ecosystem, just using the regular C# stuff. So nothing fancy or funky going on here. You can just work with NuGet and the latest and greatest .NET features. So it's really good for developers who are already in the .NET ecosystem and really want to make the most of it.
Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's doing well. I'd like to welcome you to our talk, AR in Public Health Awareness. Our team developed a public health installation called COVID Reflections, which we installed at the University of Florida with the goal of improving public health communications on campus surrounding COVID-19. In this talk, we'll cover how we developed our application, as well as our broader perspectives on extended reality in public health. I hope you enjoy.
Augmented reality in public health communications is a new and exciting field which promises to open up entirely new possibilities in public health. Our project, COVID Reflections, is a public health installation which uses augmented reality and body tracking to engage public audiences in short, health-oriented experiences. COVID Reflection helps audiences to visualize potential health outcomes of COVID-19 infection through depicting the process of disease contraction, sickness, and potential hospitalization on a virtual avatar mirroring the user's physical body in real time. Through this experience, the user gains a virtual first-hand experience of virus contraction and can draw concrete conclusions about the potential personal implications of contracting COVID-19. Before we get into COVID Reflections, I want to introduce you to our team. My name is Ines Said. I'm an XR developer at Frolic Z Prime and previously a software engineer at the University of Florida's Digital Worlds Institute, where we worked on this project. As an artist and researcher, my work has been featured in numerous top venues, including 3 times at the ACM Symposium on Virtual Reality, Software and Technology, VRST, in Osaka, Japan. I've won 8 top hackathons across the United States and Canada and secured awards from Google, IBM, Estée Lauder, and numerous others. For one of these projects, Voter, I was awarded COVID-19 research grant funded by Google to continue my research on public health applications using virtual reality. My life's goal is to combine the fields of art and technology while tackling complex social issues and to make technology enjoyable and accessible for all.
Hi everyone, my name is Erica Delhagen, and I'm a multimedia designer and technical artist developing content in interior architecture, video production, 3D visualization, and special effects. With the Bachelor of Interior Design from the University of Florida, my research bridges the space between physical infrastructure design and the XR community, covering topics including the effects of security in emergency departments through physical environment design. My research in this space was published by the prestigious University of Florida Journal of Undergraduate Research, as well as IEEE. I continued as a student researcher and designer in the University of Florida's Digital Worlds Institute MIDAS program to continue exploring the boundaries between human-centered design and technology, and recently graduated after completing work on code reflections, which is what you're seeing now. My passion is to create innovative and beautiful designs that allow users to experience a world of limitless possibilities.
Hi, my name is Austin Stanbury. I'm an XR developer creating immersive applications that improve public institutions, including education, health, and government. My work has been featured twice by ACM's VRST, the Association for Community Health Improvement's 12th International Conference on Advances in Computer-Human Interaction, and installed on UF's campus. As a student in the University of Florida Digital Worlds Institute MIDAS program, I was awarded at numerous major hackathon events nationally and internationally. My artistic work is being featured in South Korea and Florida galleries during 2022. I aspired to leverage extended reality to solve practical problems and enhance our understanding of the world.
COVID Reflections was developed by a team of graduates and faculty at the University of Florida Digital Worlds Institute. Housed in UF's College of the Arts, Digital Worlds is a leader at the edge of digital arts and emerging technologies. We participated in the MIDAS program, a graduate degree program training a new generation of students engaging with extended reality software development and digital arts. Research on COVID Reflections was funded by the Center for Arts and Medicine at University of Florida. We are so thankful for their generous support as we developed our public health installation. Our research supported the Center for Arts and Medicine in their mission to advance research, education, and practice in arts and health. With their support, we were able to install the application publicly in high-traffic areas on UF's campus, reaching students, faculty, and the public at large. We would also like to give one more big thank you to Unity. While working on COVID Reflections, Unity provided us an enormous amount of support in using their Unity Mars package. After seeing our project implemented on UF's campus, the team over at Unity was kind enough to invite us for our first ever speaking engagement at the Augmented World Expo 2022 in San Jose, where we were able to meet with numerous other creators and researchers working in the field. Without their support, it would have been significantly more difficult for us to implement the amazing functionalities we used on COVID Reflections. So thank you so much to all the team. Now that we've got our introduction out of the way, let's talk more about our application. I'm going to provide a broad overview of the COVID Reflections platform, and after that, pass it off to my teammates, Erica and Austin, to jump into the details. COVID Reflection tailors public health mass communications to local audiences and individuals in real time by utilizing augmented reality and body tracking in combination with large-scale displays situated in public spaces. The user stands in front of a display which tracks an audience member's body and visualizes potential health outcomes of COVID-19 on an avatar mirroring their movements. This aids the audience in visualizing the potential health impacts of COVID through a deeply personal and intuitive format, bridging the gap between informational abstractions and first-hand experiences. Let's take a look at a demo video so you can get a better view of what I'm talking about.
COVID particles enter your body, they begin to attack your respiratory system. The virus may impact your nose, throat, and lungs at this stage. Within the next 2 weeks, you may experience immune response to the virus, including coughing, fever, and congestion. You may also experience neurological symptoms like loss of smell and taste. For many, COVID symptoms may end at this point. For some, more serious symptoms may occur. When COVID severely impacts the lungs, it can make breathing difficult, cause pneumonia, and cause fluid to collect in the lungs.
We all know that providing relevant public health information is an important and challenging goal for numerous institutions. In practice, we see a variety of mediums used to communicate public health information, including text resources, video, radio broadcasts, and in-person presentations. These formats are an incredibly important part of modern public health campaigns, and we don't believe that extended reality should be thought of as a means to replace them. However, we know that these formats cannot possibly account for the enormous range of individuals who will encounter them in public. Even while providing accurate descriptions of potential health risks, media directed towards mass public audiences are limited in their capacity to tailor their message and content to individuals. We propose augmented reality as a deeply impactful medium for relating public health information to general audiences. Our research on COVID reflections demonstrates how large general audiences can be reached with personalized public health media, which provides immediate feedback and interactivity in a way that other formats cannot. In short, augmented reality installations, especially when enhanced with artificial intelligence features like active body tracking, provide a novel method of tailoring mass media content for individuals. And this is the amazing thing about XR mass communication strategies. They take the highly personalized media strategies that we see in online communications, like ad campaigns, and make them available to put into practice in physical, real-world locations. So with COVID reflections, we're able to tailor public health mass communications to local audiences and individuals in real time, while these audiences are engaging with public spaces themselves, not mediated through a phone or a device. And so with COVID reflections, we start to get into this notion of the virtual firsthand experience. And as a key component of extended reality experiences, and especially extended reality public health experiences, I think that this is really one of the primary value drivers. So through something like COVID reflections and through the extended reality experience, we allow individuals to immerse themselves in the media itself, in the media that they are experiencing, right? We put them into the experience. They're able to directly visualize and quote unquote experience the impact of COVID-19 on their body in this simulated manner without having to actually go through contracting COVID, right? And this is important because in regular circumstances, obviously, we have the ability to inform audiences about the dangers of health crisis, disease, etc. This is obviously very important and an incredibly important and fundamental aspect of public health communications campaigns. Again, this is not a replacement for those strategies. It is a supplement to those strategies. In addition to informing audiences through our traditional media, right? We can now allow individuals through these new extended reality forms of media to really feel as though they've directly gone through and experience what the public health campaign is meant to warn them about. So what does this look like, right? So they're able to see their own lungs, a simulated experience of it, but their own lungs on their own body, or a representation of them, damaged. They can hear what it will sound like for them coughing and see the avatar coughing and reacting to their movements. They can see on their own face what they'll look like with a ventilator, right? So it gives people something very powerful to relate to beyond a description or a warning, right? It allows them to have this virtual firsthand experience. And so with this in mind, I can imagine it might be difficult to look at this or hear about this and see, and be able to imagine how users are being impacted by this experience without a real concrete example, right? So, I want to relate our experience setting this installation up in public to kind of, I guess, demonstrate where we're coming from, right? So, one of the big aha moments that we had while exploring this approach to public health communications was actually observing firsthand how audiences reacted to the installation in public. And frankly, when we set out to create this installation, really we were thinking in terms of the traditional media formats that we're familiar with. We thought, all right, extended reality can be an interesting or useful method of doing what? Of just conveying information. But what we didn't realize was how deeply this experience would impact our audience. And, I realize that it sounds funny to say this, but so many of our users approached our table where we were, had this installation set up, expressing astonishment at how we were able to capture imagery of their actual lungs without an x-ray, right? So the audience was participating in this, and they actually thought that these simulations that they were seeing on the screen were not just a representation of their lungs, but their actual lungs, right? And I guess this is just kind of a funny aside, this anecdote, but it points to something real and deeply resonant about this approach, which is that in our experience, users really did identify with the avatar on the screen. They interacted with this installation, COVID Reflections, and they were deeply immersed in the virtual content to the point of accepting the simulated imagery on screen as being a real representation of their own bodies, right? And I should mention, you've seen the COVID Reflections artwork. These are very clearly artistic abstractions. We're not presenting necessarily photorealistic art examples of the human body or of COVID or the lungs or whatever, but users were still able to really deeply connect at this level. Now, there's very obviously some important ethical considerations tucked in there, right? So to be totally honest with you, we didn't realize how effective this approach would be. We had no plan for that. And going forward, we realize that it needs to really be made explicitly clear that this media that people are engaging with is just a simulation. But with that said, I want to, I guess, re-emphasize that using extended reality in this way, it really did prove to elicit a set of emotions that, in my experience, I don't usually get out of other media formats, at least not in the context that individuals would engage with them in the public space on just a passing by basis, right? So, that I do feel comfortable saying that this virtual firsthand experience, I think it is a real thing, right? And I guess I wouldn't be telling you about it if I didn't, but I feel that this represents something real that occurs when audiences, interact with these media formats, right? They have a sort of firsthand experience where they feel as if they have really gone through something, where they really identify with this information on screen to the point of just suspending their disbelief about it and accepting it as real. And I think that this is one of the big value drivers of this format, as I said before. And, honestly, I'm very excited to see what else can be accomplished through this approach. So, we don't necessarily have to get too deep into the code or anything that we use to build out this display. I think we'll kind of keep it high level, but I want to kind of provide a higher level overview of what went into developing COVID reflections. So, as we've already stated, we used Unity to develop COVID reflections. And the reason why we chose Unity is mainly because we are all trained in Unity, but it is a very user-friendly platform, as I'm sure many are already familiar with. And we found that with the support of the Unity Mars package, we were actually able to accomplish a great deal of the more advanced functionalities that we were searching for in a very short amount of time. We made a lot of use of this package for the purpose of developing an iOS application. That's COVID Reflections is deployed over the iPhone 13, and Unity Mars allowed us to take advantage of the iPhone 13's body tracking functionality, and that's accomplished through LiDAR. It's pretty amazing that this package, right, allows us to integrate with what in reality is really kind of such a complex application involving, LiDAR and artificial intelligence to actively track, these individuals in public. We really were impressed by how functional this package was and what it allowed us to do. It underlined our application's functionality in public spaces. We were able to track single individuals in crowds, and the body tracking was remarkably stable. So, it was very important for us that this functionality be deployed on a mobile device. The iPhone was really the only device suitable for developing an application like this because of that LiDAR functionality. We needed to be able to deploy this application anywhere, right? It's a public health installation. We can't just roll out a laptop or a desktop in the public square and leave it there. We needed something that we could really just kind of set up anywhere. So that was kind of our design philosophy behind using Unity, especially behind using Unity Mars. And this was just incredibly efficient and allowed us to rapidly deploy this application. So in general, on the back end, the application operates off a sort of timeline, which moves the user through these various simulated effects of COVID-19 as time progresses. The experience lasts approximately 3 minutes or so, after which the user can engage with an FAQ section, as well as a body-based interface. And after the users had a chance to engage with that functionality, the display resets and it is then ready for the next user to approach. And lastly here, I just wanted to touch on the body tracking functionality and how it interacts with other aspects of the application. So obviously, body tracking is what makes COVID Reflections what it is. It's the functionality that we use the most. It underlies the entire experience. And I think in general, as a general statement, body tracking, in my opinion, is really fundamental for augmented reality or extended reality public health experiences, right? Because at its fundamental level, it's pulling the user into the information that you're trying to present. So it needs to be able to really engage the user in the public space, right? And project content onto them. So, as we mentioned, COVID Reflections tracks the audience member's body using the iPhone 13's LiDAR functionality, right? And it mirrors that functionality on an avatar that represents the user. And the avatar has numerous visual effects applied. We'll get into that a little bit later in greater detail. But the visual effects include a variety of shaders, particle effects, animations, and 3D models, which are tied to this avatar object in the scene. So while this avatar is receiving the user movement information from the iPhone 13, body tracking functionality, in the scene we are applying effects which are anchored to the avatar position. So what this means is that the user in practice can do just about anything. And in fact, they do. In practical experience, users behave in the most uncanny ways interacting with this installation. They jump around. They try to juke it out. And all the while, they are fully engaged with this, with the information that's being presented. So, what information is being presented? Well, obviously, there's, as we mentioned, particle effects that show how COVID is transmitted to the body. Now, anywhere the user moves in the scene, if they move backward, forward, etc., the particle effect as being anchored, or I guess relational to the avatar, the effect will still display properly. In fact, it will show up wherever the user is in the scene. They can move quite a ways back, or they can walk right up to the camera. They can jump, spin, do whatever, do jumping jacks, push-ups, flips. As funny as it may be to say in a talk like this, in fact, people have started twerking in front of the display, if you can believe it. But the effects remain applied to the avatar. So later, the experience will show COVID-19 particle traveling through the respiratory system into the lungs and infecting the body. So wherever you go, this animation will display properly due to the body tracking functionality. And the body tracking functionality actually has some other interesting features. At the end of the experience, we incorporated a motion-based user interface through which the audience member who is currently being tracked can reach out and touch various UI elements present in the experience. They can indicate which question they would like to ask by means of reaching out and just touching a sort of bubble that will pop and allow the question answer to be displayed. So the user really is using their body and really actively engaging, not just in a passive manner, standing in front of a display and being an object of the information, but rather being an active participant in the experience through the body tracking functionality. Obviously, that, in our observations, really drove user engagement. And in fact, it made the experience fun, which I think was really part of the allure and, what led to the display attracting as much attention that it did. And these type of experiences, obviously, people are very curious. You may see somebody behaving in sort of a curious manner in front of the display, and crowds gathered in public spaces to watch this. So the body tracking undeniably was really one of the foundational principles of this experience, and I believe as a general statement, likely will prove to be one of the fundamental aspects of extended reality public health communications in general.
Our observations during installation showed that onlookers were initially attracted by exciting visuals, while the interactive functionalities and special effects promoted users to stay engaged with the display throughout the entire 3-minute experience. By synthesizing medical and artistic aspects, it helped bridge the gap between public health institutions and the public which they seek to engage with. To achieve the artistic representation of code reflections, our team developed the models, shaders, special effects, and animations through Maya, Substance Painter, and Unity. Visual liberties and artistic abstractions were employed to aid in audience engagement and understanding when appropriate. However, to avoid medical inaccuracies, we did leverage the help of the University of Florida Center for Arts and Medicine in understanding the effects COVID-19 had on the body, and the Unity Asset Store for the lungs and human form assets. The virtual environment presented on screen was developed using Revit, one of my favorite softwares for my undergraduate degree. It's an architectural visualization software. Our installation sought to balance the necessity to provide medically accurate and relevant information with the need to engage audience on an imaginative level. By using my background in design psychology, I created a digital atmosphere that enhanced and emphasized the human form on screen and the effects COVID-19 had on this virtual avatar.
I'd like to thank you so much for coming to our talk on AR in public health communications. If you have any questions on our work or on COVID reflections, please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much and have a great day.